All right, we can hear everybody who's a panelist online right now.
That
And
includes
I
John.
believe you can hear us too.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Great. So it is 6 p.m. Today is July 9th, 2026. We are calling this Alameda County Water District Board of Directors meeting to order. We'll start with item number 1. Roll call, please.
Directors Weed,
Here,
Huang,
Here.
Gunther,
Here.
Sethy,
Here.
and Akbari.
Here. Director Gunther, would you mind leading us?
Certainly.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Before we move on to our next item, I'll look to our general manager to see if he has any housekeeping remarks.
Great, thank you, President Akbari. On behalf of the ACWD Board of Directors, I'd like to welcome the public's participation in this board meeting. My name is Ed Stevenson, and I serve as the district's general manager. Members of the public may participate in this board meeting in person or remotely by either using the Zoom application or by telephone. Any member of the public present in person who wishes to make comments may approach the speaker's podium at the appropriate time. For those participating remotely, note that the meeting agenda, staff reports, and presentation materials for this meeting are all available on the district's website at acwd.org. You may reference the instructions at the top of the agenda for how to participate using the controls in the Zoom app or your dial pad if participating by telephone audio. Again, thank you all for attending, and President Akbari, that completes my housekeeping remarks.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to.
Oh, and before we move on, if we could acknowledge that Director Weed is participating remotely. He's doing that under the traditional teleconference rules. The teleconference location has been included on the agenda. And then, Director, we just want to confirm with you that the agenda was posted at the teleconference location, that the teleconference location is open and accessible to the public, and that members of the public are allowed to participate in the meeting from your teleconference location. Is that all correct?
that is true. Yes.
Great. And so now we can proceed. That would be great. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Miyake. We'll move on to item number 3, public comments. Members of the public may address the board on any issues not listed on the agenda, which are within the purview of the Alameda County Water District, and we'll set a time limit of 5 minutes per speaker. We'll start with members of the public who are here in person. If you wish to make a comment, you can approach the speaker's podium now. Seeing none, we'll move online. Are there any members of the public who wish to make a comment? You can raise your hand in the Zoom app. I do see one hand up, Mr. Ken Nishimura.
Yes, thank you very much, President Akbari. This is Ken Nishimura. I just wanted to make a comment about a interaction I had, perhaps indirectly, with ACWD staff. I was on a bike commute in the vicinity of Paseo Padre and Commerce Drive, and it was probably around 1945 hours. The crew was apparently fixing a leak. And there was quite a considerable amount of heavy machinery out. I would like to commend the staff and the crew for properly informing cyclists of the upcoming construction and the need for cyclists and drivers to share the road. I know that construction is required and leak mitigation is, leak repairs are often, well, they are emergency situations and can't be notified ahead of times. And I do appreciate the crew's willingness and care to ensure the safety of all road users, including cyclists and pedestrians. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment, Mr. Nishimura. Are there any other members of the public in person or online who would like to make a public comment?
No hands.
Okay, wonderful. We'll move on to item number 4, which is our consent calendar. Do I have any motions to add any items to the consent calendar?
I'd like to add item 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 5.9 to the consent calendar this evening.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Directors Weed,
Aye.
Huang,
Aye.
Gunther,
Aye.
Sethy,
Aye.
and Akbari.
Aye. Do we have a motion to adopt the consent calendar as amended?
I will move to adopt the consent calendar as amended.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Directors Weed,
Aye.
Huang,
Aye.
Gunther,
Aye.
Sethy,
Aye.
and Akbari.
Wonderful. With that, we'll move on to item 510. We have a couple bittersweet items tonight. Starting with item 510, resolution honoring Kathy Flemmer upon her retirement from district service. And I'll turn it to our general.
I think bittersweet is the right word. We always rejoice in these, and we also always are kind of bummed in a way, but we're happy, really happy for our retirees, and we're thrilled to have you join us this evening to take us through these items. I will pass it over to our interim director of finance, Mr. Calvin Cho.
Thank you, Mr. Stevenson. Kathy Flemmer retired after 20 years of service with the district, and her last day with the district was May 15, 2026. Kathy Flemmer started her career with the district on May 15, 2006, and her last day with the district was May 15, 2026. She retired as a senior business analyst in the accounting and treasury division of the finance department. During her 20 years with the district, Kathy served as a key resource for the administration, maintenance, and support of the district's J.D. Edwards Enterprise Resource Planning System, JDE, which supports district-wide functions such as payroll, human resources, account payable, general ledger, fixed assets, inventory, and other financial processes. Kathy contributed significantly to the accounting and treasury division through her technical expertise, initiative, and commitment to process improvement. Her work supported important district-wide administrative functions maintained through JDE. She supported year-end processing, payroll, and benefit system updates, Affordable Care Act reporting, advanced metering infrastructure asset disposal, fiscal inventory activities, and system updates. Kathy was also instrumental in implementing auto-generated email notification in JDE, which improved vendor communication by providing timely updates when checks and automated clearinghouse payments were issued. Throughout her career with the district, Kathy was known for her professionalism, dependability, strong judgment, and collaborative approach. She regularly shared her knowledge and provided clear written guidance that helped staff understand and follow key financial system process. Her deep knowledge of JDE and district process made her an invaluable resource to the accounting and treasury division and to staff across the district. Kathy will be missed by her many friends and colleagues, including me, at the district. And the staff is recommending by motion adopt a resolution honoring Kathy Flemmer upon her retirement from district service.
Great. Do we want to start with board comments, or do we want to give Kathy an opportunity first to speak? Kathy wants to speak.
So Kathy, would you like to make any public comments on your behalf? I think we could also solicit any other comments that members of the public.
Sure. Well, we can start with comments from members of the public. Kathy or any members of the public who want to make any comments can.
It was hard to say to turn it off, to say it's time to go, but I needed to do it. I'm glad I did it, but I wouldn't have turned this experience.
It's been an awesome ride. Kathy's one of those special people, part of our family that we already all miss, but we are super happy for you.
So why don't we start with some comments from the board? I think we'll start with Director Weed, and then we'll come back to members who are here in person.
Well, an awkward connection, but Kathy, thank you very much for your service. Greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guess I'll go next. So Kathy, thank you. I think Both our retirement today, including yours, are for positions that's extremely important, but people don't usually see it. People don't really appreciate how hard you work. You're that little pin that's connecting all the different divisions together, right? That's how we get paid. That's how our bill got processed. That's how we end up transitioning to JDE. Long time ago, that's a lot of effort. So thank you, even though we do not always take the time to say thank you to you because you do not appear in front of us in committee or in board meetings that often. But your effort definitely is appreciated. You're one of those unsung heroes that keep us going. Thank you and wish you a great retirement. Hopefully you have a lot of fun things planned out, not like some people who just told me they have honey-do lists. Hopefully it will be fun adventure and come back to say hello to us.
Thank you, Kathy. It is bittersweet for us, but I'm happy for you. It's a hard decision to make. I'll be leaving my job for 29 years at the end of July. So I understand where you're coming from. Yeah. And I enjoyed mine too. I'm really happy that you enjoyed yours. We enjoyed having you here. We'll miss you. When you can have an employee feel that way, you hate to lose them. But I'll tell you, enjoy your retirement. You're worth it. You earned it. Have a good time.
Kathy, I joined the board in 2010, and I've been on the Finance and Administration Committee for most of that term that I've been on the board. So I followed the JDE efforts quite closely, and I made my career in Silicon Valley technology. And so I really admire the work that you did in collaborating with multiple departments on implementing something over several years that was extremely complex, and as well as the other upgrades that you helped guide for the district. So I want to offer my sincere appreciation for that and all your other services. I hope we see you at some picnics or the Christmas breakfast, and I wish you really well for the future. Thank you.
And I'll co-sign everything that my fellow directors said as well. We're gonna really miss you. 20, you don't hear about employees staying at a specific spot for 20 years. That's just not common anymore. And so we really appreciate the service that you put into the district, not just us here on the board, but our ratepayers as well, who don't get to see the work that you do directly, but they feel the impact. I have two questions for you. So first of all, how excited are you to never have to deal with JD Edwards again?
Remember, the rest of us aren't retired.
Just in jest, I've had to deal with JD and similar platforms before in my private career, and it's they're complicated systems. A real question for you. I'm curious, what are you looking forward to most in retirement?
Well, I have a big honey-do list of my own, but I'm mixing that in, just fun, some many fun things as I can find and do it. Working on my health, just all kinds of stuff, so.
Well, we're wishing you the best in retirement. Like was mentioned, we'll see you at future lead events as well. And really, really hope that you enjoy making this. Great. I think we have a resolution, but I'll first turn
I'll
it
move
to the
staff resolution.
I will second.
roll call, please.
Directors Weed,
Aye.
Huang,
Aye.
Gunther,
Aye.
Sethy,
Aye.
and Akbari.
Aye. Do we want to do quick?
Well, we are going to want to do some pictures. We're going to record this moment for posterity. But before we do that, if we could do the second item,
Sure.
we can do it all at once.
Okay.
And this is resolution honoring Lawrence Herrera upon her retirement from district service. And again, I'll turn it over to Mr. Cho.
Thank you again, Mr. Stevenson. Lawrence Herrera will be retiring after more than 18 years of service with the district, and her last day in the office was July 2nd, 2026. Lawrence Herrera started her career with the district on April 28, 2008, as an accountant 1 in the accounting and treasury division of the finance department, and was promoted to accountant 2 in 2012. Her last day in the office was July 2nd, 2026. Prior to joining the district, Lawrence worked for other public agencies, including the City of Santa Clara. She obtained her bachelor's degree in business admin from San Jose State University with a minor in French and Spanish, and is also a graduate of Leadership Fremont. During her 18 years with the district, Lawrence served with professionalism, dedication, and a strong commitment to supporting district's operations. As an accountant too, she was responsible for the district's payroll function, ensuring the payroll was processed accurately and timely for district's employees. Her duties included processing biweekly and monthly payrolls, cost of living adjustment processing, California Public Employees Retirement System reporting, W-2 processing, state controllers compensation reporting, annual leave buybacks, and quarterly tax return filings. Outside of her regular responsibilities, she was also instrumental in implementing payroll changes associated with new Union Memorandum of Understanding and payroll tax regulations. And she assisted with annual comprehensive financial report disclosure preparation. Her work required attention to detail, sound judgment, confidentiality, and a strong understanding of payroll process and district procedures. Lawrence was known for her reliability, steady approach to her work, and willingness to assist others. Her contribution helped support the accounting and treasury division and ensure continuity in one of the district's most critical administrative functions. Her dedication and service over the past 18 years are greatly appreciated. Lawrence will be missed by her many friends and colleagues, including me, at the district. And staff is recommending by motion adopt a resolution honoring Lawrence Herrera upon her retirement from district service.
Great, thank you. So again, I think I'll start by inviting Lawrence if she wants to make any comments.
I will add this. I hope that she doesn't repeat her message that she delivered at her retirement event, because she used a good deal of that message to try and persuade many of her friends to retire too. And I was very tempted to unplug the microphone in there. No, Lawrence has been another member of the family, and it's tough. And she is actually known as the most important person at the district because she deals with payroll. And every 2 weeks. Okay, Lawrence.
Just want to thank you all. It's been a pleasure working here. When I was at the city of Santa Clara, I imagined myself here, it's like I live in Union City and I'm like, this is where I belong. And it took me 2 tries, but I made it here. And just like Kathy, I felt very grateful, to work here, and I really enjoyed my 18 years. It's been more than just a job. I really enjoyed coming, and even though we've had some hard times like COVID, I'm one of the few people who chose not to work from home. I mean, I always like to have that connection, with the other employees and seeing people in the office. And in the early days, I had to go around and pass out the pay stubs to everybody. So it kind of gave me a leg up on getting to know, a lot of the employees at the time. So, to this day, I still, have those connections with them. It's really great. It's been a great place to be a mom and have kids. I find that the district is very family friendly. And I appreciate the events that, the board supports. My boys always had fun during picnics and then the holiday activities. And when you opened up the district, to families. It's also been a place where I just didn't have just coworkers, but I've made a lot of friends and a lot of travel partners. A couple of them are here today, so I don't feel like I'm really leaving the district. I'm just joining my retired ACWD friends, and I will continue to participate, in the events that ACWD will put on, for the retirees. So thank you very much.
We often talk here about ACWD as kind of a small family, but really showing that also for your service. Let me start with members of the public who are here in person. Want to make any comments on either retirees or so. If not, I'll look online. Raise your hand in the Zoom app if you wish to make any comments. Seeing none, I will turn back to the board, and again, I'll start with Director Weed online.
Well, once again, an extraordinary career, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
I guess I'm next. Well, Lawrence, thank you. That's 18 years is a long time to keep us going and make sure we get our paycheck. I still remember those paper paychecks that just put on top of our desk. But seriously though, when I was having issues with my withholding, I was debating, withholding, how much to withhold. Guess what the answer was? Now, who did I ask? I asked one of the manager, and the answer was Lawrence will know. Just go ask her. And that is how much your expertise was appreciated. Thank you for making sure that everything runs so smoothly, and thank you for the annual comprehensive financial report. I mean, we are very proud of it, and your contribution definitely helped a great deal. So I do have a question now. We talk about traveling. So where is your first destination?
We're going to Boston and taking a cruise to New England and Canada.
Ooh, Boston.
Start in Boston and end in Quebec and fly out of Montreal.
Oh, that sounds great.
Two of my cruise mates are right here.
Okay, now I'm tempted to be talking. But seriously, thank you for your service. We'll definitely miss you. And please come back. And hopefully I'll see you and your family during the summer picnics and the holiday party.
Well, the famous Boston cruise. I haven't taken it and familiar with it. Familiar with some of the water there too. Thank you so much. There's like one person at the district who you don't want to piss off. And you're sitting right there. Yeah. You've had that position but it's vital. Absolutely vital. And greatly appreciated. You're going to be missed. I'm glad you got traveling partners. Maybe I'll see you around Union City. We'll see. I'm going to have a little more time to spend out there too. That cruise should be wonderful. Boston's a wonderful city. I wish I was going on that cruise. Boston. So have a wonderful time. See if you can get to the Constitution if it's there. Boston's a great city. Some of the great restaurants are closed that what I had, but there's still a lot there. And that should be a wonderful time. Where's the next cruise going to be though?
Nice.
Mexico cruise, or are you going to just recommend the Alameda and Mexico City? Thank you so much.
Lawrence, je parle français aussi. Alors, félicitations.
Merci beaucoup.
Tu me comprends?
Je comprends très bien.
Ah. Oh. I'm listening to both of you ladies and I'm thinking, boy, you would make great recruiters for the district. When you put you on video, and your long service and commitment to the district and all of our ratepayers, of course. So I would really sincerely want to thank you for all your dedicated service. I wish you good luck. I wish I was coming on one of these cruises.
Thank you.
So Lawrence, thank you again for your service. we're gonna ask you a couple of questions as well. First, looking back at your 18 years here, was there a particular moment or something you worked on which you're most proud of?
Well, I guess it would have to be the JD Edwards upgrade. That was a long one and pretty intense. I remember one day in particular, it was July 4th, and I was the only one in the office, and I had to do testing for JD Edwards. And I think at the time they were offering, for MCPs, we could get like a regular overtime, for the time we were putting in for this project. And I had so much overtime that, I said, I wanted this lazy boy leather couch. And then I did buy it, and then I always call it, this is my JD Edwards couch. So I got it with the overtime, so kind of like a funny moment that it kind of stands out in my mind, the representation of the whole project.
I love that. Hopefully we didn't take too many holidays, so. So my other question that I always like to ask is just what you're looking forward to most in retirement.
Besides the traveling and having fun. Well, at this point, I have two sons and they're still in school, and I have one, parent left. And my two siblings are retired. So at this time, it's a lot about spending time with family, the time that we have, because for some, time is fleeting. And for others, they might, they'll be hopefully leaving the nest, sometime in the future. So I know that, time counts, and I really want to be there, for them at this point in time. And also have more time for friends as well.
Well, I hope you enjoy your time with your family. And to both of you, thank you to your families as well. Because we know you had long hours. And so I hope your family knows as well. Appreciate all of you both put into your service. So I think we'll come back for the rest of you.
I'll leave the motion.
So, roll call please. Directors Weed,
Hi.
Huang,
Aye.
Gunther,
Aye.
Sethy,
Aye.
and Akbari.
aye. Wonderful. With that, why don't we take 10 minutes break to take some photos and then actually parties. Sounds great. Great. So I have 6:28. We'll be back. Let's call it 6:20. So 12 minutes.
Director Weed, just checking to be sure you can hear us okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Thank you.
We were just about to begin item 5.12, resolution approving and authorizing the execution of public water system extension agreement with Ropes and Homes LLC, tract 8596, Ellsworth Mixed Use, ACWD number 2023-0022. And we understand you wish to recuse yourself.
Yes, I own property within 1,000 feet of the project, so I'll be recusing myself and not observe and discontinue and leave the room with this hookup. So I will not be in the room at all attending. Thank you.
Yeah, and Director Weed, that's great. You're remote, so you definitely should keep your video on. So if any member of the public wants to attend, they can still participate in this item. But if you leave the room, and then we will text you when the item is over so that then you'll know when to come back to the room. So wait for our text before you come back into the room.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Okay, looks like Director Weed has left the room. We can see that the room is clear on the video. So staff is prepared to go ahead with this staff report item. This is an item we would normally include under the consent calendar. There's nothing unusual about it, but we're happy to go ahead and read the item. Okay, Mr. Awoke, please.
Thank you, Mr. Stevenson. Good evening, board members, staff, and community. This item is for resolution approving and authorizing execution of public water system extension agreement with Robeson Homes LLC, track number A596. It's known as Ellsworth Mixed Use Project. ACWD's number for it is 2023-0022. Summary: located at the southwestern corner of Ellsworth Street and Grove Avenue in Fremont, this development includes 12 housing units and 3 non-residential commercial units. The public water system extension agreement is in the district standard form and provides for a refund in the amount of $113,750 from the developer funded facilities reimbursement fund for approximately 175 linear feet of offsite water main replacement in accordance with the district's development policy, which was approved by the board under resolution number 24-04, and provided the requirements of the water system extension agreement are met. This item was recently reviewed with the Engineering and Information Technology Committee on July 1st, 2026. Staff is asking the board to approve by motion, adopt a resolution approving and authorizing execution of the public water system extension agreement for the track number A596 project Ellsworth Mixed Use Project, which includes a refund to Robeson Homes LLC, the developer, in the amount of $113,750 in accordance with resolution number 24-04. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Awoke. Looking to the board, do we have any questions or comments on this item?
I'll move staff recommendation.
I'm just gonna get public comment real quick. Any members of the public, no one in person, any members of the public online that wish to ask a question or make a comment on this item? You can raise your hand in the Zoom app to do so. Seeing none, Director Gunther, I'll turn back to you.
Motion still stands. Recommend staff exiting.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Directors Weed, Huang,
Aye.
Gunther,
Aye.
Sethy,
Aye.
and Akbari.
Aye. Great, we will take a moment to call Director Weed back into the room.
Okay, just texted him. He's on his way.
John Weed rejoining the meeting.
Great, thank you, Director Weed. We
Yes.
just concluded item 5.12, so we're moving on to item 5.13, resolution to collect delinquent and unpaid charges for owner-occupied residential accounts on the property tax roll, and I'll turn it to our general manager.
Great. Thank you, President Akbari. And again, I'll turn this item over to our interim director of finance, Mr. Cho. He does have a few words about the item, including a couple of updates to the staff report. Mr. Cho.
Thank you, Mr. Stevenson, and good evening again to our board of directors, staff, and member of the public. Resolution to collect delinquent and unpaid charges for owner-occupied residential accounts on the property tax roll. Summary: the district's collection and residential water service termination collection policy was updated on January 12, 2023. The update includes a provision to collect delinquent charges for owner-occupied single-family residential accounts to the property tax roll managed by the County of Alameda. Effective October 10th, 2024, the collection policy also authorized the collection of delinquent balances for owner-occupied multifamily residential accounts, including individually metered townhomes and condominiums, to the property tax roll. Accounts with unpaid charges overdue by 60 days or more as of July 1st, 2026 are subject to this collection method. This initiative supports strategic plan goal 3, maintain the district's financial stability and promote transparency. Discussion, the board resolution number 23-07 adopted on January 12, 2023, which followed the board deliberation during financial workshop conducted in 2022, updated the district's collection policy to include an annual process of assigning certain delinquencies to the property tax roll for collection. The collection policy was updated again by the board resolution number 24-043 following board deliberation during the financial workshop in 2024. Specifically, delinquencies that are over 60 days past due on owner-occupied single-family residential accounts and owner-occupied multifamily residential properties, such as individually metered townhomes and condominiums, will be assigned to the County of Alameda for collection on the property tax roll. A total of 142 accounts for $15,507.49 is currently scheduled to be assessed on the property tax roll on August 1st, 2026. The timeline of actions for this year's annual process include the following. June 1st, 2026, a first warning notice was sent to 148 accounts representing a total of $18,233.95 of past due balance over 60 days, noting that these delinquent and unpaid charges will be sent to the County of Alameda for collection to the property tax roll and could become a lien on the property unless payment is made to the district. July 1st, 2026, a letter was sent to 142 accounts representing a total of $15,507.49 of past due balance subject to collection on the tax roll. Any additional accounts that become 60 days past due in June of 2026 were included, while accounts from June 1st, 2026 mailing that made sufficient payments were removed. August 1st, 2026, staff will upload the Alameda County Assessor's portal the list of owner-occupied residential accounts that still have balance more than 60 days past due. This is the final list assigned for collection on the tax roll. Up until this point, a customer can still be excluded by getting current on their account. Once an amount is referred to the county portal, a payment is settled between the county and the property owner, and the district is not involved. District will receive payment from the county based on what they collect. In order to implement the collection process for delinquent and unpaid accounts to the property tax roll, the district enters into an agreement with the County of Alameda. This agreement compensates the county for collecting delinquent and unpaid charges due the property tax roll. The county receives 1.7% in compensation for each property referred for collection. Last year, a total of 46 accounts with $8,298.76 in eligible past due balance were referred for collection on property tax roll. The initial customer notification were similar to what is identified for this year. However, most customers pay the amount owed to avoid a property tax referral. Now, the staff is recommending by motion approve a resolution to refer delinquent and unpaid charges for water and other services for owner-occupied residential accounts to the County of Alameda for collection on the property tax roll and take any other necessary action to implement the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cho. I will first look to our board for any questions or comments, and I'll start with Director Weed online.
Thank you. This has been one of the success stories. The objective should be to eliminate referrals to collection agencies, and that's as we expand this effort to as the legislative issues are resolved over time, we'll hopefully be able to eliminate referrals to collection agencies. Getting better response when refer a delinquency to a collection agency, the entire amount is written off our books. And we get back historically less than 20% in recovery. So even though there's a modest cost to the county tax collector, it's well worth it. thank you very much for your efforts, and hopefully we can continue the program and expand it. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Weed. I'll then move to Director Huang.
So I do have a question for staff. Our curiosity. So last year we referred 46 accounts, right? So do we actually collect the entire balance from the 46 accounts? Do they actually pay, or what happens if they do not pay? Does it become a lien on their property?
Yes, it becomes a lien, and that is one of the reasons they paid $8,298.76.
So we basically recover every outstanding account that's owed.
Yes.
Referred. Okay, great. Thank you.
I'll support the item. Granted, there's a 1.7% compensation to the county, but we are members of the county as well. So, I could live with that.
I support this item. No comments.
Likewise, I also support this item. No questions or comments. Let me open it up for public comments. Any members online who wish to make a comment can raise their hand in the Zoom app. Seeing none.
I see no hands.
Okay, then I'll turn it back to the board for a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve staff recommendation.
I'll second.
Great, roll call please.
Directors Weed,
Aye.
Huang,
Aye.
Gunther,
Aye.
Sethy,
Aye.
and Akbari.
Aye. Great. That concludes our action calendar for today. Just confirming.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. So with that, we move on to item 6, reports, starting with item 6.1, board committee reports. Are there any questions or comments from the board on any board committee reports? Seeing none, I'll look to members of the public in person and online. Any questions or comments on any of our board committee reports? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 6.2, operational reports. Again, looking to the board first for any questions and comments. Seeing none, I'll open it up to members of the public for any questions or comments. And I see a hand raised from Mr. Ken Nishimura.
Thank you, President Akbari. Now that I'm still here, I will make a comment as usual on 6.2.5, your system hardness. I do note that we are getting frighteningly close to the target of 150 milligrams per liter in the northern part of the district. I have made several comments to this board already, so I will not repeat myself about the detrimental effects of hard water. I encourage the district to do what it can in a cost-effective manner to ensure that the hardness doesn't climb any further. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nishimura. Any other questions or comments from members of the public?
In terms of a response related to the hardness comment, I will look to our Director of Operations and Maintenance, Mr. Stevenson, no relation, but I would just add, we certainly understand the comment. We do not disagree, and staff certainly endeavors to stay within the bounds when we can. Other than that, he is correct about the values on the distribution system hardness map and the report. As the board knows, in the overall water resources master planning effort, we do have eventually plans to further improve water quality in the northern part of the service area. But it's a little ways off at the moment. I don't know if Mr. Stevenson has any additional comments.
Thank you, Mr. Stevenson. I think you summarized. I don't have much in the way of additional comments other than we do our best to try to work within some very finite parameters and try to optimize to the best of our ability in keeping those balances with the water quality and the cost associated.
President Akbari?
Yes.
I didn't want to comment on the 6.1.1 because it referred to the June 2nd committee report. But I think that because it's been so prominent in the public, we need to address the water quality issues that we just had recently, and Director Gunther and I are both on the Operations and Water Quality Committee, where we had an extensive discussion this past Tuesday. I don't want to go another month before we have a regular public meeting to address the issues that were going on. So if you can just give a synopsis of what occurred, why it happened, how we're resolving the situation, because it's been widely discussed on Next Door Neighborhood. And I showed Ed, I had comments from neighbors that were sending me text messages. So I think it deserves a little explanation, please.
Thank you, Director Sethy. Yeah, so the supply off the South Bay Aqueduct to our surface water treatment plant number 2, TP2, there was some elevated levels of organics, notably geosmin, and that had to do, it's mostly an annual algal bloom situation that comes from the Delta, and there's some balancing that they do with the water supply between Lake Del Valle and the Delta. And then they do some treatment efforts there. And sometimes when we receive the water at the treatment plant, our source or our supply water, it's a little challenging, and we're always doing some balancing because we're constantly testing and making adjustments. And in this case, we had elevated levels of organics. Again, the water was safe, and we brought it all up to standards. So what we did is we reduced the rate. When we started getting some calls, it was noticeable in the system. We reduced the rate at that plant, made some identification. We increased ozone, which is the primary disinfection at that plant, to try to treat it on the front end. Do want to reiterate that these are all secondary drinking water standards, so the water remains safe, completely safe to drink. But the secondary standard just means that it had some people that are a little more sensitive noticed some taste and odor issues in it. And so we received those calls. We tried to mitigate as much as we could. We still have some information on the website that's available for the public to view. And so we're still monitoring. It seems like this has passed for now, and we continue to monitor and we continue to treat. But we are very actively, aggressively staying on it and making sure we're treating accordingly and trying to minimize those taste and odor issues going forward.
Did they have those same issues at Zone 7 and Santa Clara Valley Water District?
Yes, all of our SBA South Bay Aqueduct neighbors experience the same thing as well. So we do have a good communication network. We have a group that we communicate with regularly on that. So we were talking amongst each other. Hey, what are you doing? We're doing this. What are you seeing? And so they experience similar things.
One last thing, because I really learned something on Tuesday. My natural question to the staff at that meeting was, why don't we just increase the level of ozonization at the plant? And I really learned it's quite a balancing act. It's not just putting in more ozone. We don't want to create the bromates and other side effects that would make it even worse.
Yeah, yes, you are correct. Yeah, if you increase to certain levels, then it can have adverse effects. So it's not, during the treatment process, you can't just increase one thing without having something else happen. So you've got to really, create that balance. So you're exactly right. So if you over inundate with ozone, then you're going to create bromate issues, which has a whole other set of issues and does create primary drinking water hazard at that point.
It's a real chemical balancing act.
Correct.
Thank you for the update.
Sure.
I do have a question as well. Have we received any customer complaints through our customer service department related to water hardness?
Or water hardness?
No.
Yeah, or
taste
of
odor.
taste
Taste
of
odor.
odor.
Taste and odor.
Okay, yep. I know that there's two different functions here that both receive customer calls and handle them in different ways. So I'll cover both of them and they can correct me. We received a number of calls related to the taste and odor episode, both in our customer service division, also in the sort of water quality function. We're able to talk to people about what they were experiencing. The water is safe. Totally understand that that a lot of people can sense it. It's not pleasant, the aesthetics. But yeah, so we did have quite a number of calls and we responded to them.
Then we put up a message on our website too, on the homepage.
Correct.
By the way, great job with that message with the banner and the message behind it. Great job. That was well done.
Yeah, the people responsible have just heard your your input. Thank you.
Great. I think that concludes item 6.2. Then we'll move on to item 6.3, staff presentations, and take item 6.3.1 first, the California Water Plan 2028 process update.
Well, thank you, President Akbari. And this is an informational item. We just wanted to kind of provide the board with some additional context. I know many of you are following this, the California Water Plan. This is an effort. It's kind of a big deal. It follows SB 72 and it kind of changes the function of the California Water Plan. And so this is something that the industry is engaged in, ACWD is engaged in, and we know that that the board is interested in. So we thought we'd provide a bit of a very brief, but a kind of an overall review. And to kick us off, maybe I'll turn it over to our Director of Water Resources, Ms. Heides, for any additional context and introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Stevenson. So the next update of the California Water Plan is going to be 2028, so we're still a little ways away. But progress is already beginning, and we thought it'd be good to give an update here as things are getting kicked off, because you're going to start seeing more and more about that in the news and the various water activities. So here to give that update on what the latest and greatest is on the California Water Plan is Dr. Amparo Flores, our Water Supply and Planning Manager, who's going to take you through the roadmap today.
Thank you, Ms. Heides. As Mr. Stevenson and Ms. Heides mentioned, I will be giving an update on the process for developing the California Water Plan 2028 update. I'll start with an overview of what the water plan is. This is a requirement by Water Code 10004. It's essentially the state's strategic plan for managing the state's water resources and ensuring that we're able to sustainably manage those resources and meet current and future needs. This is developed by the Department of Water Resources. It's updated every 5 years, and it does present recommendations for action, but it relies on policymakers and the lawmakers to actually take the steps to authorize those actions and to provide the funding for their implementation. There are specific goals for the 2028 update of the California Water Plan as driven by Senate Bill 72. This is intended to modernize the plan, the California Water Plan, and really focuses on having a more actionable type plan, not a plan that just sits and collects dust on a bookshelf. But it's intended to lead to more actionable recommendations and a more durable approach to planning for statewide water supplies. It's intended to guide policy decisions on water resources management and support their implementation. Of course, we are facing the reality of a hotter and more unpredictable climate and future, so it's intended to address that. And lastly, you'll hear a lot about this. They're hoping to have this more grounded in data, in the reality of operating water systems, very complex systems across the state, and it's intended to be shaped through meaningful public engagement. So what will the update do? It will hopefully present a clear understanding of the statewide water supplies, the demands looking into the future in the next 15 years or so, and the shortages that we're anticipating. It's intended to collect information about local, regional, and statewide water management strategies that could be considered, evaluated, and potentially recommended for implementation. And it does establish a high-level target of 9 million acre-feet of additional water supply, conservation, or storage capacity by 2040. There's been some questions about where that number came from. It's a top-down, high-level planning estimate, and it's intended to reflect a study that was done a couple of years ago that looked at the potential impacts of climate change, groundwater protection overdraft, and other factors that could reduce the state's water supply. So it's intended to fill some of that gap. But again, that's a very high level number and the state recognizes that. So the state is already looking forward to 5 years down the road, the 2033 update, to have more watershed-based, localized targets set. But this 2028 update will collect a lot of the data, and that will be then feed into future updates. Lastly, of course, it's intended to look at our water supply needs for all kinds of beneficial uses of water. So again, as I mentioned, the 2028 update is really largely intended to lay the groundwork for a more regionally based update 5 years down the road with much more refined targets. It will establish the planning framework and an inventory. They'll be looking at things like our urban water management plans, groundwater sustainability plans, et cetera, so that a 2033 update could develop a more integrated and watershed scale level of analysis. The process is intended to be transparent and open, and it's intended to reflect the diversity of the state of California. There is an advisory committee that has been formed. It was first convened in May in Sacramento, and it does have representatives from diverse interests across the state, both urban, rural, environmental, tribal agencies, et cetera. And we do have some of our friends from California urban water agencies participating in that committee. Technical work group is also being formed to open the doors a bit wider and also to bring in some of that technical expertise to inform the planning activities and again to ground that in real world conditions and to recognize the complexity of these water systems across the state, both large and small. And lastly, there will be public forums and caucuses that will be held across the state that are intended to inform the development of the plan, including the assumptions that are being made and the targets and strategies that will be set. District staff will participate and engage in the process. We have already been coordinating with California urban water agencies on coordinating our supply and demand estimates so that the state has the correct information about our forecasts and the reason behind those forecasts. We're also tracking advisory committee activities. So we are going to be monitoring and engaging through organizations such as CUA, Aqua, state water contractors, and we'll be attending advisory committee meetings on key topics of interest to the district. And lastly, we'll be participating in regional forums on key issues, again, that are of interest to the district, things like the development of alternative supplies, groundwater banking, et cetera. In fact, we've already had a meeting pretty recently with Deputy Director Joel Metzger, who's leading this effort to discuss groundwater banking, our perspective, the benefits to districts, to water agencies like the districts, so that they are aware of how important those initiatives are and the investments we've made. I'm going to stop there for any questions.
Great. I do see we have a hand up from members of the public, but I'm going to start with the board, see if there's any questions or comments, starting with Director Weed.
None, thank you.
You? I'll come back here.
No questions for me?
No questions.
I have a comment
Yes.
on slide number 4. So I really wanted to kind of give the history on the legislation here on SB 72, which was authored by State Senator Ana Caballero. And I went up to Sacramento the day of her news conference on the Capitol lawn last fall. I think it was early September, after the governor had signed the bill. And we had quite a gathering there. And it was bipartisan because this was one of the only bills in recent years where we had unanimous support in both houses from all the Democrats and all the Republicans. It was quite an achievement. And it just tells you that across parties and different political philosophies, that water has now elevated itself to, a #1 issue in the state. And now you see the current gubernatorial candidates and other candidates elevating the issue because it's becoming of such great concern. And so I just wanted to throw that in because I don't think people really realize the gravity of this bill pulling everybody together with commitments in the bill. You know, it's a strong bill.
Thank you, Director Sethy. I'm now going to open it up to questions and comments from members of the public, and I'll start with the hand up. I believe that's Rudra Sharma. Rudra Sharma, excuse me.
Hi, I just had a quick question. So I noticed you mentioned that the California 2028 water plan is more rooted in data and in numbers. But other than that, what are some of the major differences between this and the 2023 California water plan?
Yeah, for the 2028 plan, the state is really focused on sort of a data inventory, data collection. As I mentioned, so it'll be looking at various planning documents that agencies, et cetera, have developed and collecting that information so they could have a full picture of, again, water supply needs, demand forecasts, and what the shortages are that we're anticipating. It's going to be looked at a statewide level largely. They've started to develop some modeling that they're going to use in a more detailed way. In 2033, they're going to now be breaking up these various opportunities, strategies into regional portfolios, and then evaluating those using modeling, et cetera. So the difference is that the 2033 is intended to be more regional and locally based.
Okay, thank you so much.
Great, thank you. Any other questions or comments from members of the public? You can raise your hand in the Zoom app if you wish to make a comment. Seeing none, Dr. Flores, thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Good job.
With that, we will move on to our next item, which is 6.3.2, review and demonstration of the district website refresh. And again, I'll turn.
Fantastic. Thank you, President Akbari. This item is, this follows a mention that staff made a couple of months ago about some changes we've made to our website. We've updated it, we've refreshed it, we've made some improvements intended to make it easier to navigate for our customers, make it a little bit more modernized and aesthetically pleasing. And so there was a suggestion at that time from the board, hey, why don't you come and walk us through this website, kind of share with us the changes that you've made. So we've said, okay, and that's what we're doing this evening with this item. So with that, I will turn it over to our Public Affairs Supervisor, Ms. Shireen Gonzalez, who will get us started.
Good evening, board, staff, and members of the public. I'm Shireen Gonzalez, Public Affairs Supervisor, and I am pleased to be here tonight to introduce a refresh of our ACWD website. It was launched in February. After about a 9-month effort, a committee worked on the effort. We had representatives from each department, and early on in the process, we took a look at several websites, mostly public agencies, to look at some of the features that we preferred, as well as some that we did not prefer. And where we landed at the site that we have today are some of those features that we decided to integrate into our site. The last time we did an update was in 2018, so needless to say, we were ready for an update. As Mr. Stevenson mentioned, we do have a new look and feel. However, we did not change the functionality of that, but we are working toward increasing our accessibility as well as our mobile access and engagement, improving overall the user experience for our customers. Melissa Rivera was the project manager. She did a phenomenal job leading the project, and she is going to walk us through some of the updates of the website. With that, I'll turn it over to Melissa.
I think you all know Melissa. If you've been paying any attention at all to our social media and other public engagement, you've seen a lot of Melissa, and she's just been a rock star in so many different ways. And this was just yet another one.
Thank you, Ed, and thank you, Shireen, for the introduction. Again, my name is Melissa Rivera. I'm a public affairs specialist here at ACWD and the project manager for the website redesign. Today, I'm going to provide an overview of the district's website refresh, highlighting several of the new features and that improve the customer experience, and discuss our ongoing efforts to enhance website accessibility. So let's begin with a quick look at our overall design. The refresh focused on creating a cleaner, more modern look to our website that's easier for customers to navigate, whether they're visiting from a computer, a tablet, or a mobile device. Some of the most noticeable features include a refreshed homepage layout as I'm scrolling through here. This includes a new color palette as well as new background designs. You can see there's like a water feature here in the background, as well as different color schemes and waves just to give our website a different look. We now include this new image carousel that also features customizable titles and text, which links to different content on our website. We've also updated the font to our website to align with accessibility best practices. And we have this hover over interactive feature, as you can see here on the stacked menu, that turns blue when you hover over, and in the additional resources below, we have this cool little water drop that appears when you hover over the buttons. So our website not only modernized our homepage look, but it also modernized our interior pages. Much like the homepage, some of the new features include an updated background. You can kind of see that it has the same blue background that we included on our homepage, a new color palette, and updated font. The website also now has easier access to commonly used resources, and it's a mobile-friendly design throughout the whole website. One of our goals was to help customers find information more quickly while giving the website a cleaner, more modern look. One of the biggest improvements was making our most used customer service tool easier to access. Up here, we have a new Pay My Bill / My Account button that is prominently displayed at the top of the website, giving customers quick access to their online account without having to search through menus. Because paying a bill is one of the most common reasons customers visit our website, placing this feature front and center helps streamline that experience. Another important enhancement focuses on emergency communication. So for customers experiencing a water emergency, every second counts. The refreshed website prominently displays the district's emergency phone number here at the top of the homepage, making it easy to find when it's needed most. On mobile devices, customers can simply tap the phone number to call us immediately. This allows them to quickly report emergencies and get connected with district staff without having them to search for contact information in our website. Navigation throughout the website also received a significant update. We now have this new stacked menu here on the left-hand side, which gives quick access to customers to the most searched for pages on our website. Using Google Analytics, we identified the pages that customers visit most often and prioritize them within this stacked menu. This streamlines the navigation and reducing the number of clicks to find key resources, creating a more intuitive and user-friendly experience. We also made frequently requested information much easier to find. Here in the additional resources section, we really focused on improving access to information customers use most often. We worked with a website committee of 10 different staff members from different departments across the district to identify questions and resources customers request the most frequently. And based on their feedback, we created these quick links, making it faster for customers to find the information that they need. This refresh also improved how we share news and upcoming events with our community. The website now features an updated news section and calendar display that better showcases district announcements, board meetings, workshops, district holiday closures, and important updates. The navigation improvements continue throughout the interior pages as well. So here, the stacked navigation actually isn't limited to our homepage. So customers can find the same consistent navigation within our website's interior pages, making it easy to move between related topics without having to go back to our homepage. And the consistency creates a smoother browsing experience and helps customers find information much faster. In addition to improving usability, accessibility continues to be a major priority for the district. Accessibility was a key consideration throughout the website redesign. To support our accessibility efforts, we've integrated a software called Aqua Optimize, which performs daily scans to identify accessibility issues across our website. We've also implemented an accessibility toolbar. It's here on the left-hand side that provides visitors with additional options for viewing. So for example, you can change the font type, you can change it to open dyslexic, whatever a customer may need that helps them improve their user experience. There's various tools available for them to use. And looking ahead, we're planning accessibility training for website administrators, and we're also assessing a new software that'll provide an accessible web-based view of the PDFs published to our website. So that'll be really helpful, and hopefully we'll make those changes sometime soon. And these efforts all support the district's ongoing work to comply with the Department of Justice ADA Title II accessibility requirements by the deadline of April 2028. Thank you so much for your time, and we're happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much. I'll first look to the board, again, starting with Director Weed to see if we have any questions or comments.
Thank you, staff.
Not on camera.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, there was a note that your Director Weed's not visible immediately on one screen in the boardroom. He is on camera on Zoom. It's just what's just being displayed there is the attendees list and not the panelist list. So we'll switch it over so you can see him, but I just want to verify he is indeed on camera and we can see him here in the room.
Thank you. Glad to be included.
Oh.
And thank you for the presentation. Right.
Thank you.
Director Weed. And no further questions.
So I really enjoyed the new website redesign, and I could confirm that it works on my phone. I was actually looking for the agenda item today on my phone, and it actually worked out really well. Also compliments to whoever working on the Google Translate and put that cute little button there, because trying to have our website being friendly to all our customers who come from different racial backgrounds, speak different languages. This worked out great. I actually was playing as you were doing the presentation, changing into different languages. It worked really well. So thank you for designing this in. I know we kind of keep on making that comment. So great job. Thank you for being so responsive.
Thank you so much.
Looks pretty good. Thank you so much. These can be hard to navigate, and appreciate your efforts to make it easier to navigate, particularly for those of us who don't navigate very well through the internet. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
I have some comments, but let me lead with a question first. It's on the ADA requirements for the website. So this emerged about, I think, 4 or 5 years ago as a forthcoming requirement. I've been trying to make us aware of this in our committee meetings and everything. So we have a very large deaf community in the Tri-City area because we are the home to one of only 2 deaf and blind schools in California. And I want to make sure that at some point we have allow people that are in that community to be able to participate in our meetings and able to navigate our website. So one thing I can think of that I would do for our website, people are not clear on what the ADA requirements are. And I think we should have a link to that with all of the things that we're required to do and put check boxes there as we proceed to upgrade the website. Okay, number 2, which I go around to other water districts' websites too, just to see what people are doing. One feature I really like are the statistics on, and we could just have a statistics button at the top corner of the page where people can go see what is rainfall for the last 24 hours, the last week, the last month, year to date for the rainfall season. Where's our groundwater level at the current time? We can take charts from our monthly board packet and actually put them on the website. Most people don't wade through 500 pages of a board packet to go find what the water hardness is. So if we had the water hardness table, not just for the current month, but where people could sequentially go through what it's been like in their neighborhood, I think that would be another helpful addition. The same with our chart that we have on water usage by month and production by month, comparing it to previous years. I think that's really helpful for people to know, and it helps educate the community on how good a job we're doing on conservation. I was looking at the June usage for the month, last month. And I think we were 55 million a few years back, or in 2013. Now we're down to like 42 million. That's quite a substantial savings for the community to see and visualize, right? The third thing is you could put the another statistic is we get a regular report on the where the reservoir levels are, especially the ones that we derive our water supplies from, like Oroville and Hetch Hetchy and et cetera. I think that's important information for people to have on hand too, Shasta, even though we're not taking deliveries from there, but it does give people a chance to see how things are going. And I think in the wintertime, when you're in the rainy season, everybody's asking, well, how much rainfall do we have? How does it compare to previous years? And so you can put that on there as well. So I think a statistics area would be really cool to have. And I don't know if you resolved this situation, but I have brought it up a number of times in the past. When I go to check my water usage, sometimes I get an alert because I have mine set to alert me whenever I go over 150 gallons in a day. But when I go to that part of the website, and I haven't since you've upgraded here, so I would just ask you to go back and check. Because I've talked to customer service multiple times about it. When I put in my account information, it's really hard to tell where to go to get the timeline on my water usage and everything. And when I go to the chat room in the bottom right-hand corner, the chat box is so large that it covers up where I have to go to the next step. And so while I'm in the chat room with customer service, they're saying, well, go to this place. Well, then I have to close the chat room. And twice I've had to have customer service call me at home because I can't follow the steps that they're guiding me through. So I think that needs a little cleanup too.
I really appreciate your suggestions. I think those are great ideas of having the deaf community be involved, as well as the statistics page. The My Account page is actually separate from our website. So this is a Civic Plus owned website, and customer service manages our portal. So this was made by, I believe, a consultant. So we don't have access to the portal for the customer information or water usage, unfortunately.
Well, you know, one additional thing that is needed right there is when you first go to that page, there needs to be some instructions for dummies like me that need to know where to go to get the information I wish to see, because there's multiple layers and you don't know where to click and go. It's kind of confusing.
Well, I thought I would note that, you know, there are different parts of the website that are managed by different groups and that rely on different services and so forth. And the part that you brought up in your last comment has to do with the portal. And now, while we don't directly control the portal, we do work with the vendor on the portal, and we work with them on improvements all the time. I'm familiar with the challenge that you cited here, and I know that there's been some back and forth and discussion about that. I encourage you to give it a try more recently and see what you think.
Yeah, I'll go home and do it.
Yeah, you might have a different experience. But in general, I'd say, you know, we're constantly making improvements kind of all around the website, and that's another one of the areas that we work on.
Thank you for all your efforts. It's quite an improvement over what we had before.
Thank you so much, and we'll
Just-
continue
just
making
my
improvements.
comments. I appreciate the upgrade.
Thank you.
We got to review this in the Leica committee, and so I got to provide a lot of feedback there, but I'm super, super happy with the website redesign. And so big kudos to both of you and everyone who put time and effort into the redesign. I think it's just a lot cleaner and easier to navigate, and this is the main way that many people interact with the district. And so it's important that we have a website that's accessible. We've been able to kind of make it easier for folks to find the information, and especially with the language translation. Like, it's really important in our community. I will say my favorite part is those water droplets on the homepage. I thought that was such a great touch. And so I'm just really happy at even the small details that you guys have thought about. I don't have any other questions specifically. So I will now look to members of the public to see if they have any questions or comments. And again, you can raise your hand in the Zoom app. You?
No hands.
Seeing none. Oh, I will also say I do want to say I agree with Director Sethy's suggestions around maybe creating some statistics pages so that you can see some live stats, and then also on the accessibility for folks in our community or are deaf. I think that's a really great suggestion.
Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate your time and your feedback and comments. Thank you.
Wonderful. So I think that concludes item 6.
That's right.
Okay.
That's it.
Great. So then we'll move on to item 6.4, general managers.
Okay, I do have a couple of reports this evening. First of all, because most of our public affairs staff are here in the room with us this evening, I thought it'd be an opportune time to share with the board something that we did share with committee a little bit ago, having to do with yet more awards that your water district has hauled in as a result of some industry recognized great work. I've shown the shiny parts of those awards here on the dais. We won not only 1 or 2 awards, but of course 3 from one entity, the California Association of Public Information Officials. The 3 awards are, we have 1 award of distinction for special or community event that was held one time. This award was given for how we got people to talk about water at a beer garden and an evening in the garden with pints and plants. And as you, many of you recall, this was associated with our Imagine a Day Without Water event last October. We also won another award of distinction for most innovative communications. And, you know, we're always proud of that. And these people are innovating constantly. This was for, quote, emergency water fetch it, a tail wagging twist on emergency preparedness. Good luck combining all of that. Well, of course, our crew did do that. This was for our innovative participation in the Niles Dog Show and a lot of work that our crew put on engaging with the public and their pets. And then finally, the middle award there, the grand finale, the Epic Award for graphic design in print, was for our innovative collateral that was also associated with that Imagine a Day Without Water event. Pints and plants, a plant walks into a beer garden, conservation ensues. I can't tell you how fun it is working with these people. All of that collateral included a ton of different things, including a plant personality quiz, the plant trading cards that were a hot item, and plant steaks, which were an even hotter item, and they still are a hot item. And so while our staff was here, I just wanted to mention that award that this crew hauled in somewhat recently.
Well, you guys really hit the hat trick here. For sure. I don't know how many agencies can do that at one conference, but
I think your next award might be the comedy award.
It's probably not fair though with plants and the beer garden. It's just that's almost cheating. But good, thank you.
No, I was there at Pints and Plants, and
I
that
missed it.
was
We need a repeat, by the way.
that was a great event, and I'm happy to report that I still have my steak, I still have my painted pots, and amazingly, my cactus is still alive.
We could do it at the beer garden down the street.
That would be a nice one to repeat. Just saying, I missed it. I didn't want to miss it.
No, great job. The interaction with the community, with our customers was wonderful during that event. I had so many different conversations. No,
Yeah, that was a
really
real
good.
hit. I don't remember the stats. Shireen could probably rattle them off the top of her head, but we had, thousands of impressions and all kinds of very, very positive feedback there at the event and in lots of engagement surrounding the event. It was really fantastic.
I'm sorry I couldn't be there, but I was happy to see you wearing the t-shirts that I made up. No water, no beer. You look good in them.
Yeah.
I mean, this is amazing. A hat trick, like was mentioned. That is no small feat. Sitting on the Leica committee, I've gotten to see how creative we've gotten with social media, with events, and all the different ways that we try and engage with people of all ages too, because we start with elementary schools and we work all the way with residents throughout the Tri-City. I think that's amazing because there's a lot of folks, especially when I'm able to attend some of these events, there's a lot of people that'll come up and it'll be their first time engaging with ACWD, first time attending one of our events. It's really cool to see us just engage with the community in different ways and then be able to draw the community into the work that we're doing. So definitely kudos to the whole public affairs team for that. Yeah, absolutely.
Wanted to express my gratitude on behalf of the public affairs team for all of the support that Mr. Stevenson and the executive staff and the board provide to our team in all of our creative, wild, fun ideas, and that allows us to do the work that we do and win these awards on behalf of the district. So thank you.
Keep up the good work.
It's fantastic work.
Director Weed, did you have any comments?
No, thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you. I'll open it up to members of the public for any comments or questions. Seeing none, I'll turn it back to our GM.
Great. Thank you, President Akbari. Another general manager's report, hopefully pretty quick. I just wanted to make the board aware that I had received a few days ago a letter from Kimbra McCarthy, who's the city manager of the city of Mountain View, expressing appreciation for the district's support of, some of the issues they were having a bit ago in May or in April into May. As you might recall or have seen on the news, there was some significant challenges that they were having as a result of some contractor activities caused some water system contamination issues, and quite a number of their customers were impacted in terms of lost service, and so there was a lot of work that went into restoring the system, and Mountain View did a fantastic job. But Ms. McCarthy wrote me a letter, and I'll summarize a couple of parts, that during their emergency, which lasted nearly a full month after the initial incident, their response was greatly aided by local water agencies, including the Alameda County Water District. I'm writing, she says, to express my gratitude to ACWD for assisting Mountain View during our time of need. I would especially like to thank Leonard Ash and his team for offering their professional expertise and consultation, even during weekend and evening hours. It took 26 days to resolve the issue. We could not have reached the various intermittent milestones without your support. And I just want to acknowledge Leonard Ash, who is a wealth of information, as this board knows, and is anxious and willing to help anybody at any time, night or day, work days, weekends, tremendous resource there. Also Mike Wickham and Chris Pena from our water production division. I think the board knows them well. Provided some excellent support with regard to regulatory matters and water system improvements in Flushing, and lots of assistance. Jennifer Amor, our laboratory supervisor, providing input related to water quality analyses and sampling and so forth. So I just, the board doesn't always see those little things that happen in the background. And I thought this was a real nice acknowledgement. I really appreciate the city manager over there at Mountain View for acknowledging the great work that your staff put into helping them out. Lastly, one final item, and of course, it's another award. Are you tired of winning?
Of course not.
For this award, I will turn it over to Mr. Cho to share more.
Thank you, Mr. Stevenson. Finance had two sad news earlier today, but we are ending with one great news. Procurement and Contract, which is a division under Finance Department, received an Achievement of Excellence in Procurement Award. This is a national award presented by the National Procurement Institute, which recognizes public and nonprofit agencies that demonstrate excellence, innovation, and leadership in their procurement operations. Thank you.
Congratulations.
So President Akbari, that completes my general manager's reports.
Great. Any questions or comments on the GM reports before we move on? Seeing none. All right, we'll move on to item 7, director's comments, reports on meetings attended, and agenda item requests. And I will start with item 7.1, Director Sethy, and then we can move down the dais.
Yeah, my report is pretty quick. The South Bay Engineers Club is no longer meeting in Pleasanton. They've reverted back to Fremont. So we meet down at the Fremont Clubhouse now, close by, just a mile away, half a mile away, which is convenient. And we've got a nice room over there and good food. And we really have excellent presentations every month. This past month on June 4th was a presentation of about an hour and 15 minutes on the fascinating history of surveying, going all the way back to George Washington, that was his original job, was a surveyor, and how the techniques and technology that have been introduced to surveying over the decades has really changed, and it's accelerated in a way in the last 2 decades because of the introduction of a lot of computer technology that surveyors did not have before. Now they're using drones as well. And the drone technology is giving them the ability with algebra, trigonometry, and calculus to actually do 3-dimensional surveying. And some properties that they were showing are kind of difficult and inaccessible, or just not safe for a surveyor to go out to. And so by using all of these new technologies, they are really expanding the field. They gave this gentleman who was presenting started as a surveyor, became a surveyor in the Army. So he was showing how he had to survey from aerial photography properly for the commanders in the field where they were launching projectiles, and they wanted the most accurate hit rate that they could. So he was showing the relationship between proper surveying and the success on missions. Then he went into private industry after retiring from the Army. And so he was showing various case studies from building new homes in mountainous areas to doing things out in the desert. He gave a really nice portion of his presentation on the disaster that happened at Castlewood Country Club a few years ago when we had the big storms, and it washed out a bridge that was the primary access for the property owners between the clubhouse and the homes. And the reason, as he delineated, why that happened was because the original survey was done improperly. And so they didn't survey for what the potential runoff would be on the creek that ran under the bridge. What they really needed was a much longer and wider bridge with proper supports that couldn't be washed away. And so he showed the original surveys that were done back in the 70s, and then how they had to do it now in order to rebuild the bridge. Overall, it was just very interesting. We had two of our engineers from Mr. Garoon's staff that were there as well. And I think we all thoroughly enjoyed a nice education on survey. It certainly made me more appreciative of what's going on in the field. Thank you. That's my report.
Thank you. Dr. Gunther, anything?
No, except that meeting sounds very interesting in the very near future.
Dr. Huang?
Nothing for me.
Director Weed?
I believe the ACE 26 will be on the next agenda where I attended the AWWA conference.
That's actually on this agenda, Director Weed.
Didn't have that in front of me. Thank you. I did attend the American Water Works Association annual conference. Over 20,000 attendees. ACWD had a presentation at that where we had 4 of our own staff who flew out. Another was there in the DC area and joined. So ACWD was well represented. We presented on PFAS. ACE 27 will be in San Diego, and I encourage members to consider to attend it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Director Weed. And I have one quick item, or I guess 2 quick items before we adjourn here. In public service, we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us. And over the last few weeks, we've lost 2 stalwarts in our community who've dedicated their lives to public service. So I just wanted to recognize both of them, starting with Pat Kokoskos, who was a former city council member in Union City and served from 2010 to 2018. She passed on May 22nd, just a few weeks ago here. And Pat was instrumental in the formation of the Union City Friends and Sister Cities. She helped foster friendship, cultural understanding, and meaningful partnerships between communities all around the world. And she believed in the power of people and bringing connections that touched countless lives and helped build a stronger and more connected community, not just in Union City, but across the Bay Area and across Alameda County specifically. And then over the past weekend, we also lost former supervisor Scott Haggerty, who was a supervisor for District 1 for over 2 decades. Supervisor Haggerty was a valued partner and steadfast supporter of the county administration, and was most remembered for his dedication for his countless advocacy efforts to expand county services across Alameda County. He also prioritized the county's fiscal health to promote and protect the county's long-term financial resilience. And so I hope we'll just take a few seconds here as a quick moment of silence in remembrance of both.
Scott Haggerty was also married to our former employee here, Patty Dustman.
Yes, yeah, thank you for adding that as well. So I'll just ask that we take a quick moment of silence. Great, thank you. And in remembrance of both Scott and Pat, we will adjourn today's meeting in their honor at 7:53 p.m. Thank you, everyone.